Om Shanti and welcome back to Ek Mulakat, your favorite show. As you know, we bring a special guest to you each time, someone who can touch our life and inspire us. Our special guest today is Archbishop Barbara Gray Burke. She has been the president of IRO, the Inter-Religious Organization, and was also nominated as the Archbishop at a time when there were no women archbishops. We will talk to her about her victory and how she brought the country together, how she fought against crime. She has worked closely with two former prime ministers of Trinidad and Tobago and has also met with the former Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi ji, while she visited Trinidad. So let us all welcome Archbishop Barbara Gray Burke. We are so pleased to have you here with us in our Godlywood studio and also at the Brahmakumaris headquarters in Mount Abu. So we extend a very warm welcome to you. Om Shanti.
Thank you very much. Thank you kindly for accepting me from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Speaking of Trinidad and Tobago, you were the first archbishop, a first female archbishop.
No, I was not the first. We had one archbishop, Drusilla Paul, the mere Portersville mother, and then I became the second female archbishop. But in that day, it had two consecrations. Archbishop Monica Rando and myself, both were consecrated the same day.
At the same day,
yeah.
Same time. What was it like, I mean, in those days when women were not in the forefront?
You know, asking of questions, and you know, but after a few discussions and the scriptures was broken down properly, they understand. Having three female archbishops, at the same time the men felt threatened. But after because you know, the question was posed to them, that Jesus the Christ in the upper room didn't ask the women because Mary, his mother, was in the upper room. So they came to realization like, look, these women take their position any part, anywhere, at any time.
That must have been a very big lesson in the empowerment of women.
Of women, yes.
Yes. You are also the president of IRO, the
I was the president a year. You know, I joined the IRO in 1995.
Okay.
My group, the Council of Elders, Spiritual Center Baptist Faith.
Right.
Mr. Basde Pandey, when granting the holiday to the Shouter Baptist, he then proceeded to Archbishop Pantin. He was the president at that time. If he would accept the Shouter Baptist, and he agreed that the Shouter Baptist could have been in the Inter-Religious Organization, and we were accepted. And then Mr. Basde Pandey granted us a national holiday because you had a lot of hard work doing to bring the faith forward. Hard work because we were banned, outlawed, couldn't preach the word of God. My ancestor, not I, but those that walked before me.
Right.
And I said thanks to them for keeping the faith so we could come up and have an appreciation for it. After he gave us the holiday, he went on also to give us lands. Because we didn't have any land.
Right.
It's a lot of hard work coming through. And then as a woman leading an organization, we got the land. But then I spoke to him and I told him, I said, what about granted other African groups? So he then provided 25 acres of land.
How nice.
For 5 groups, the Council of Elders, the National Congress of Incorporated Baptists, the National Evangelical Spiritual Baptist Archdiocese, and 2 Orisha group, which was African-based groups. So we each had a 5-acre plot of land.
Okay.
And we continued here every year celebrating this national holiday. And then after Mr. Pandey went out of office, we had the Honorable Camilla Prasad Bissessar. She built us when you had to worked very hard. Our first primary school in the world.
Wow.
The Shelter Baptist and an early child care center. So you can imagine how hard I come through fighting within the struggle.
Right.
And it wasn't easy because they had the men giving you a position, but if you know how to live with them, not trying to usurp authority, they will join with you and work with you.
Yeah, they should not feel threatened, I guess.
Yes.
That is the bottom line.
Yes, that is it.
Yeah.
So I never try to usurp because I have a lot of men in my organization. I work with them side by side. So you didn't have the opposition that usually the men just give to the women. I work with them. So we achieve our school, and we're still looking now to see if we could get a secondary school.
Okay.
And but you know what made it easy when Mr. Bassey Pandey put me into the parliament. So I know I've been in opposition in government, and I know I've been in government office as a government senator.
So you know both sides of the coin.
Both sides of the coin.
Right.
So I worked very, very hard, tiresome to achieve for my people.
Right.
And being in the interreligious organization, very attached to Brother Harry because he was talking the things that I wanted to hear about the Brahma Kumaris, and he invited me, and I went, and I carry others with me, and it had a similarity to my religion, to his own, because we do meditation too, and he was doing meditation. They chant wherein we were grown, so we began to understand. So we say it's the same God. It is not no different God. It's one God, and we all striving on for one goal.
Right. Your goal has been to abolish crime. As I understand, there's a lot of crime. I mean, it's not just Trinidad and Tobago, many countries, right, all over the world.
Yes, that's right.
What steps did you or IRO in particular take? Because you have organized a lot of programs.
Well, yes, we organized under Brother Harry's stewardship as the president, had a march against crime more than once, and sometimes 6 months. You didn't hear any crime, especially in the Enterprise Village. You know, after he demitted office, then I was voted into office unanimously. All the men voted for me.
Oh, wonderful.
All the men.
Wonderful.
So
what
I
a
didn't
victory.
have no opposition.
That is a victory.
And I made my year. And because I had the school, having the primary school, and as the manager of the school, you had to pay, it's your baby, and you have to nurse this baby to get this baby, because you know, you have the SCA exam, and you wanted to see the children do well, pass the colleges and Bishop Anstey High School. And so I had to rest that and continue with the school program.
Historically, the church and politics have been separate, but it is your wish to bring them together. I mean, do you see that happening, or has it happened already?
It happened already.
Okay.
You see, I study the church and I study the politics. Had I not been into the politics, it would have been just as all the past leaders who I follow after. When you're inside the government, you can make decisions. You can put forward to the prime, because you liaison with the prime minister on a daily basis. You will have his telephone. If you're not into the parliament, you have nothing. Nothing. You have to wait to write a letter, make an appointment, and if it take a year, then and only then. But if you're in there, you all have to meet for caucus. You all have to meet on various things. If you have to be a speaker that day to speak in the parliament, he will have to give the right away if you speak and which topic you suited to take up to battle in the parliament.
Earlier you talked about meeting a brother from Brahma Kumaris. You were impressed and influenced by him, and you said You saw a lot of similarities between your
our religion, and because we do a lot of meditation.
Meditation.
Yeah.
I also recall that one of your vision was to bring in a glorified country and a glorified world. Brahma Kumaris also talks about that, to bring the golden world, the golden era in. Were there any other similarities that you saw that attracted you to the Brahma Kumaris?
The charity work.
Okay.
The Brahma Kumaris does a lot of charity work, and the Shouter Baptists strive on that also, charity work, to make sure that people have a muscle I call it a muscle when the day come, because there are a lot of people underprivileged children.
Right.
I also had a distressed children home where I had sometimes 75 children per day to make sure they have a meal. But I had 25 living in children, and you have to send them to school because sometimes their parents die, accident, in all different stages. So I know about hard work to bring these children up, but I made it. I come through, thank God.
That is wonderful. And it sounds like all your hard work has paid off.
Paid off, yes.
Right. And you have always stood for your views, and whatever you believed in, you have stood up for that.
You see, as long as you're serving the true and living God, and you place your trust, not maybe, you must be positive. I know there is God. I know. And as long as you hold on to that, well, your problem solved.
That's right.
Because in meditation, you will traverse, it's a personal contact or a personal relationship with the Almighty.
Yes.
So everything, you won't think of what tomorrow will bring. You know tomorrow God is in control.
That's true.
And this is what the Shouter Baptists strive on. Even though you had trials, you know that deliverance is sure.
Because if I recall correctly, I've remember about the Shouter Baptists that they also believe in cleansing, that there is going to be a cleansing of the whole world. And again, I see similarities there with the Brahma Kumaris, where God is giving us a chance to clean ourselves. But if that doesn't happen, it will be done. So would you like to talk about that a little bit?
About God.
And cleansing
and cleansing. Well, firstly, you cannot go to God in a state not desirous of Him. You must clean up yourself. You must fast. You must meditate. And you got to pray. Pray to lift up in your heart and soul unto God. You get in the conscious who God is. And know that God He sent His Son. And because of sending His Son, the Son laid down His life. He paid a price to give us life. And life, abundance in life. And because of this, faith. Because if you only say you have faith, carry weight. It's a substance of things to come. You cannot feel it, reach out and feel it, but you know it's there.
It's there.
Because it's a transcending of spirituality.
Correct. Yes.
And when you have this strong faith in God,
you can.
With God, all things are possible.
Yes.
And because all things will be possible, you will make it. Whether, people tell you, time hard. But to the man or woman who are in Christ, you doesn't think of what hard and when it's going to be hard. Because you are not the provider for your own self.
Right.
God is the provider.
Right.
And He will provide every day. Just sometime you might expect it to happen at a certain time.
Right.
And it happen. But God knows, He hears, He feels, He knows all what we want. Because He who designed us and place us into this.
That's very well said, that God is the provider and He knows our every act, our every move, and our every need.
That's right.
Yes, that's very true.
So we don't have to think of, we say, give me your heart and I will give you a kingdom. I surrender. I surrender all. This body must be broken down, break down.
Right.
And when it breaks down and you hold on to Almighty God, you fear not.
You know, that's a very wonderful message, and I'm sure our viewers out there today are also appreciating what you're telling us because, as I understand, surrender comes first in spirituality.
Surrender everything.
Yes. And you received a doctorate in spirituality.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
Well, that experience was, you know, writing the paper. You had a paper to write at the Medgar Evers College. And in writing that paper, you put a whole compilation of everything. You see, being knowing the history of my faith, I grew in the faith. At age 12, I entered into the faith. Entering into the faith, I had known the complete history of it, all that take place, all what about to take place. So I could have just run it through. I was surprised. It was a great experience. But I was happy.
That's wonderful.
Happy to know that God had smiled at me. I didn't shock because I know when you're in Christ, everything that we added on to you. You understand me?
Right.
So I live a life. I married twice. Have 4 children. After both husbands passed away, I had to continue taking care of my children. And I take care of my children with pride. And God did everything for me. And because God had done everything for me, I surrender my whole life to God. And I depend upon Him. I don't think of tomorrow. I always say, after Mr. Pandey was very kind to my religion, I always say, I want to come to India. I want to see his foreparents, where he come from.
Is this your first visit to India?
First visit. Last year was I told Sister Himlata was coming, and then I come and I changed my mind. But this year, I called my Archbishop, Myrtle Bristol. I said, this year we're going to India, and we made a joke out of it. And we start seeing about plane ticket, and here we are, thanking God.
And this is your first time at Brahma Kumaris as well?
Up here
in Mount Abu, yes.
But I live in the one in San Fernando.
Right. But here in India, this is at the headquarters of Brahma Kumaris in Mount Abu.
Yeah.
This is your first time.
Yeah.
What was it like when you first walked into the premises? What was the first impression, or what was it that caught your attention?
You feel lifted up off the ground. You feel lifted up because you're anxious to come. When I saw Sister Pius, because I knew her in Trinidad, I felt a joy when you come off the aircraft and you see her. You know, you're excited to go up. And, you know, when you reach and you look, you feel God's Spirit manifesting within the 4 walls that you're in.
You have also been a freedom fighter, and we would love to hear about that experience.
As a person outspoken, and you calling on the government of the day that you would like a national holiday, and they're turning you down, you had to mobilize your people, because you can do nothing without prayers.
Right.
And when we finish, we're going up in the parliament to watch them. That time I was in government here. So we're going up, and this thing used to annoy them, because we in the square preaching all kind of gospel, but from the book. And it happened for weeks. 2 months straight. Every Tuesday we in Woodford Square. And then Mr. Pandey asked the government, he was in government yet, why you don't give the Baptists the holiday they wanted?
Right.
You all, the people jail them, they do all kind of things. Give them. And they determined and then one day I wrote him a letter. He replied to me. He told me I would have put you in the Senate because I don't know what I talk about, you know what. Go and argue with them. And after I finished speak, and they turn us down and start to mobilize. I go to every church, every little corner, I know our churches, and I tell them, listen, we're going to vote them out. We're going to put in Mr. Pandey, because Mr. Basde Pandey say, if he get in, he's going to give us our day, and we trust him. Mother Burke, you think he would give us? Because his people have the day already, they have arrival there. I say, yes, we trust him. Started to go on the platforms and as a public speaker and shake Trinidad down, shake it out, letting them know, come, hold my hand, follow me. I'm going to bring the day home. And they did vote and vote them out. And you know, Mr. Pandey one day said, I'm going to put you in the parliament because I don't know about your religion, but you know about it. And I went in. And they did fix a date. After months I sat down there, they did fix a date. And after I speak, Parliament closed. It closed, I tell you. I speak like today, Tuesday. Next Tuesday, they had no Parliament. And Mr. Manning called the election.
Wow.
Yes, he called the election. You see, God working so mysterious
ways, yes.
That you didn't want to give us, and God remove you and put somebody to give us.
Isn't that wonderful?
Quick. At the snap, he called a snap election. His 5 years was snap. He called a snap election. And I went to every corner of Noah Baptist Church. And I tell them, come on, hold my hand. We're going to Mr. Basde Pandey. So I know how to mobilize. And Mr. Pandey formed the government.
Oh, nice.
And the first act he really did is give us our holiday. He's a truthful man. God bless that gentleman.
Dr. Burke, it has been such a pleasure, and it has been so wonderful and an honor for you to be here and for us to talk to you. So we would like to conclude this episode, but please keep coming back whenever you can, and we would love to see you again.
All right.
Thank you, and Om Shanti.
And I say thank God, and may God bless India richly as He continue to bless it. And may the peace of God that passeth all understanding rest and abide with us all, now and forevermore. Amen.
What a great pleasure and honor it was to talk to Archbishop Barbara Gray Burke from Trinidad and Tobago. She was the president of IRO, the interreligious organization, at a time when there were no female presidents. Also, she's one of the 3 archbishops in the country. She fought against crime and poverty in her country. And with such great depth, she talked about how God is our only provider. I hope you all enjoyed watching this show as much as I did talking to her and getting inspired from her. Until our next episode, take care and Om Shanti.